discuss about the common mistakes in data modeling. Like most of the times, what happens, we take inputs wrong and deliver, and finally the product of the data model would not be useful or would not be so much flexible for the data for the developers or for the DBAs or anybody to use it for the users basically. So to summarize, what are the common, and this is one of the common FAQ that is used, that is mostly asked in the interview questions. So list out some of those common mistakes. The first would be the inconsistent date naming conventions. Like when you name a table or an entity or a column or anything, it must be in a readable format and it must be having the proper naming conventions like the prefixes, suffixes, the underscores, capitals, smalls, like camel case, all this, so that it gives a meaning. And sometimes we have short forms like ID for identifier, M for employer, like that. Um, like sometimes we also include the data types like int, dbar, so that you don't have to go and search what is the data type, like that. So the second type, naming standards make it difficult to understand. So next is like failing to test and validate the model. So some most of the times people don't have the time to test, with the proper data, and then, also the customer also might not give the correct data or the valid data or the data that is needed, that might be in the production. They give sample data which might be different from the actual data, like if we giving X mark for a credit card number, something like that, giving some random names, auto generated names or alphanumeric names for customer names, which might not be meeting the actual production data. So that might be also a reason why a data model might not be accurate to test. So whenever a data modeler prepares the data model for a database, must see that that is tested with proper data. Next thing is neglecting the data quality checks, like how what kind of data is given and what is the data quality. Sometimes we are given with sample data of the data files, and which might be mostly having empty data or having junk data. So you must be having a check on the data also, what kind of data we are checking. Otherwise, when you create a report, the report might be giving you all the junk data into it in the business presentations. Next thing, ignoring the business requirement. In this section, two kinds of mistakes might happen. One is like you might not take the requirements, or even you might not know make a note of the requirements, or even if you make a document of the requirements also, you fail to understand it or you fail to follow it, because there might be 100-page document with the requirements, and page number 54 or page number 99 might be having a very key note about the requirement, and you might, because of so much lengthy descriptions, you might miss that requirement. So that also leads to ambiguity or ineffective or irrelevant data model. And next thing is overlooking the scalability. When you prepare a data model, scalability means database that we are creating, you must be as much flexible as possible. You must be able to add volumes and volumes of data. You at certain point of time, around after 5 billions of records, it should not say like the database is full, you cannot add more records into it. So when you create a database, it must be properly normalized or denormalized, and calculate the how much data is going to be and how frequently the data volume is going to be supplied, and based on that you must be considering the proper database for it. whether it is Oracle, whether Oracle fits for it, or my MS SQL Server fits for it, or on-prem or on cloud, or Snowflake, which one is the best suited for this database requirement. Based on that, you must see the what is the whether the database would be scalable or not. Like now, if it is the column is having character data, and you must be thinking how much, whether the column is meant for a 8 character data, or a lengthy description data. Like sometimes we ask the customer to fill up the feedback form, so that feedback might be coming into one column. So how much length are you going to provide him for the feedback? So is that flexible enough, whether whether it takes one word answer or 10 lines into that particular column. Next thing is imbalance in normalization and denormalization. If the database table is not properly normalized, you might observe that the data is redundant, or duplicates might be there, or multiple data might be there into one single column. So these must be taken into consideration, and while designing the data warehouse, you must see that proper denormalization happens, proper columns are being collected from different tables and denormalized to make the fact table. Next is starting too late. This is mostly most of the times this mistake does happen in the real time uh, projects. You might be joining a project and having a discussion with the data owner or the client, and asking him to supply with the sample data and give the requirements, and give us the POC, the point of contact for each department, so that I can ask the right questions to the right person. And he might not be available. Sometimes he might be in leave for a week or 2 weeks, or sometimes 1 month. I have experienced this in my past, that a key a central point of contact is going on a leave for 30 days. At the moment I join the project, and I might be getting pressure from my team, like what happened to the requirement, and I have no answer what to give. So this might lead to delay in the data model. And when there is a delay in that, because data modeler is at the top of the project designing, so only once the design can is done properly, the data sorry the developers, the coders, the data engineers, everybody would be waiting for us to give the data model, so that they can create the tables and then start up with the coding, the front end or the back end. So if there is so this is a key input. The POCs must be available. In case the POC is not available, who is the alternative contact must be provided by the client. Otherwise, these kinds of delay happens. And what happens if there is a delay in the data model? The If I delay the data model, the team delays the total designing of the database and the total project. And if they delay in delivering the project, the total market analysis, market trend might change, and the rework must be happening, to meet the latest trends. So these are some of the common mistakes that my data modeler might do. Thank you for thank you for listening to this video. Now we will cover more of the interview questions in the next video. Thank you.